another episode of Lawn Chair Social. If you're new, I'm Kevin.
I'm Marcos.
And we are a podcast that is really just all about conversations that are random, that are deep, that are centered around one thing that we can then trail off on. We just want to be an organic podcast, kind of represent what it means to sit in a lawn chair surrounded by friends and just having a conversation.
Yeah, we if you watch our YouTube videos, you'd know that we don't really like to change our clothes. We're kind of like early 2000 cartoons.
Yeah, dude.
We have
Johnny
the same
Bravo,
outfit.
Ed and Eddie. Always wear the same thing.
It's a sense of security for you guys. We do it for you guys.
Yeah. And if the audio is a little messed up by the wind, we apologize, but we like being outdoors. We feel like it gives us a more natural vibe to our podcast, and that's what we want to go for. So, I'm gonna hit you blind.
Hit me.
I was thinking, what fandom do you think is the craziest, man? You got Star Wars, you got Harry Potter, you got Marvel, you got DC, you got Lord of the Rings. I wanna dive into this, pick your brain. Just these different fandoms out there, man.
Let's not call them fandoms. Let's call them cults, because that's what they are. You get
some more than others.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now, when we talk about these cults, are we talking about like strictly cinematic?
No, I'm talking like the universe, man, of each thing.
Because I know Marvel cults, and I know DC cults, and I know Harry Potter cults, Lord of the Rings, but also, since I do like to play my fair share of video games, I know there are some crazy, like, you thought, like some of the fandoms that are out there are crazy. You should see like video game fandoms. They are absolutely insane. Like people who, a lot of the times your video games won't have that deep in lore, that backstory. So a lot of the times the players will pick up on stuff in the background. I imagine with movies too. They'll pick up from the background, movies, things that directors have said and whatnot. And they will die on every hill against you.
Yeah.
For anything. Really, I feel all cults are like that.
Okay.
The craziest one though, to tell you the truth, I don't know what's crazy. I know the Harry Potter fandom is pretty divided.
Really? I was gonna argue different.
You think they're pretty united?
I think so, based on my experience, because with Harry Potter, you have 7 books and 8 movies that are like the main canon. There's not very much more content that you have besides that.
Yeah.
And so with that little of content, I feel like it's easier to just be united in everything. While with Star Wars and with Marvel, that goes into comics, video games, books, all these different movies and TV shows, like that's where the fans get divided. So I saw Harry Potter as probably like one of the strongest fandoms, but most united from what I've seen.
I think the Marvel fandom is one of the bigger fandoms.
Oh, for sure.
And I think they are very divided because you've got those who are, well, that's not in the comic books. That's not this. That's not that. The way I see that fandom, though, Marvel and DC, that's the beauty of it, though. Everyone, they can, like, if they make a movie, well, guess what? That movie is technically canon. Because guess what? What separates that movie from a comic book? They both have art direction. They both have directors. Some movies or comics aren't that great or well thought out. But at the end of the day, that is its own
project. Yeah.
It's its own thing. Just like it'd be its own comic book, just like it'd be its own movie.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why I say Harry Potter, I feel like, is divided for me, is you've got is you've got the people who are, I guess you could call them like the traditionalists, which are the lovers of the books, haters of the movies. And then you've got the new age, which are lovers of the movies. Maybe they'll read the books, maybe they never will. And I feel like that's what divides them, because I've watched the movies.
Yeah.
And I would consider myself a new age Harry Potter fan. Harry Potter fan. I went to Harry Potter World in Florida. I absolutely enjoyed it. And mind you, the way to get into Diagon Alley, I think it was so well done. My wife walked past it, because they have, what's that station called? King Station?
Yeah.
And then they have Diagon Alley, and then right next to it they have Sirius Black's house. The house.
Okay.
So they have those right next to each other. My wife walks there, and she goes, "Where's all the Harry Potter stuff?" And I'm like, "You gotta walk through the wall." She's like, "What do you mean?" And so I won't go into too much detail, because I believe there's a lot of magic in going and doing it yourself.
Yeah.
And I go to show her, and she was just absolutely blown. And she's an old school. She's a traditional Harry Potter fan. She read the books. She loves the books.
Yeah.
You know, the movies, she likes the movies, but she definitely has her nitpicks about the movies. And I talked to her about the show that's coming out, and she says she's excited because they say that the characters, they're going to do them right this time in the show.
Yeah.
So
'cause there's a lot of that going around right now, especially against Ginny. How Ginny in the book is witty and is social and popular, and in the movies has like zero personality. She's the most plain person.
Zero riz, and she's got the spice of an unsalted piece of toast.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was pretty. I couldn't even say 2D. I think she was pretty 1D.
I didn't even realize it till the memes came out about it. I never really paid attention to her. Plus, I haven't watched the movies in some years now. But like we just talked about on the other week's episode, I am going through the books right now. And the books are dope. And so I understand what you say with like the traditionalists and the new age. I'm definitely new age as well.
Yeah.
Like I said, just going through the books. And the books are amazing, man. They're really good. And because I started with the movies, I'm hesitant with the series that's coming out.
Mm-hmm.
But the books are just great. So if they go into detail in a live action, I think it'll be really fun.
Well, here's what I've never understood, and this is, you could probably say this about just about every fandom. I've never understood the abrasiveness towards more content.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you mad they're making more? So what if they don't do it right? Don't watch it.
Yeah.
You know? But be happy that they're not letting the franchise fizzle out. You know, be happy they're gonna dive back into the Harry Potter world. You know, they're gonna do the characters justice. That's the rumors.
But here's something that I brought up last episode.
Yeah.
When we talked about Harry Potter. There's so much more you can explore.
That's exactly what Reagan said.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But here's more content. Yeah, I get it. They're reusing it, but it's more content. It's more meat, more material, like the Spider-Man movies. You know.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you could say it got repetitive. We got 3 sets of live action. So what? Each one was different. Each one had its own little quirks. You know, be happy. They could have killed it. Sony could have held on to it. Marvel, they could have been fighting to this day, and we would have never had Andrew Garfield. We would have never had Tom Holland. We would have never had Into the Spider-Verse. You know?
Yeah. And I completely agree with what you're saying. However, they took a character and did different stories. This is the same characters, same story, just in more detail.
Well, that's the thing. That's what will appease the traditionalists.
Yes, and that is going to be cool because of the books. But
As a New Age guy, I loved Fantastic Beasts.
oh, so great.
It gives
Yeah.
you more backstory, more lore. I'm all about the lore, the backstory. I don't know if you'd call it world building, but I love it when they flesh out everything.
Yeah.
You know, because it goes to show that they really care, and it's something that's thought out, not something that they made, shot off, and were like, make a movie, done. You know, my wife watching the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them
Mm-hmm.
loves it because she goes, oh, that's where this and that's where that and
Yeah.
this and that, and she goes, that's interesting, and I wonder this, you know.
Yeah.
And I get it. There's a lot of world building to be done, and there's a lot you can get out of Harry Potter. A lot. There's just so much material there.
Mm-hmm.
But the chance to take something that was done not at 100% to now take it to 120%, why wouldn't you take that chance?
Yeah.
Because if it succeeds, guess what?
Then we'll get the world. Yeah.
Then you'll get more. Because they'll see there's
Okay.
money in it.
I like what you're saying.
See?
Yeah. Okay.
If it succeeds, if you give them support, obviously if it sucks, don't support it, let it die.
Yeah.
Show them
seriously.
that it sucked. If it does great, support it, be vocal, you'll get more.
But leading into what I really want to, I'm really excited to talk about Star Wars.
Okay.
So with Harry Potter, like, I like what you're saying. If it does well, then we'll get more.
Yeah.
You know, Star Wars has a lot of really shitty content, and
Yeah.
the fandom has very much voiced that, and they just continue with it.
What is your
Because-
bottom tier? Before we proceed, what is the bottom tier content? Tell me what's good and tell me what's bad in your opinion. And you right now
Oh,
are speaking
man.
for the entire fan base.
For the entire,
Just kidding. You're
I'm
speaking on
speaking
yourself.
for the traditionalists,
Okay.
because
How
there's
would you classify traditional?
traditionalists are Luke Skywalker and Anakin Skywalker fans.
Okay.
New Age is Force Awakens and
What
the
about
rest after
Rogue One?
that. Rogue One is it's in between episode 3 and 4, so that's a traditionalist. That's, what's it called? Fan service.
Okay.
Rogue One is fan service for the traditionalists by
Okay.
far. But like, so here's the thing. When The Force Awakens came out in 2015 or 16, I think it was Christmas 2015. It was so great because
Yeah.
it was a very well done, in my opinion, fan service movie.
Uh-huh.
It had a lot of callbacks. People argue that it was too similar to A New Hope, which I didn't mind.
Yeah.
Like, they followed the same story, just a little bit, which was good. It set up. You had something successful before. Let's do it again. Episode 8, however, I don't even remember the name. It was that bad. What was it? Freaking The Last Jedi?
I don't know.
Yeah, The Last Jedi. When Luke died and Finn had absolutely just like no development whatsoever, and Rey was just a nobody, and you find out that the hero of Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, tried to kill his freaking nephew.
Yeah.
That's where the fan base, that's where it split.
Okay.
Because a lot hated it.
Yeah.
Very few who also voiced it pretty loudly said that they loved it.
Yeah.
And so Disney ran with that, and Kathleen Kennedy just freaking has now said, like, screw everything that George Lucas set up, like, we're doing our own thing, like, forget
Yeah.
the traditional side of it.
Yeah.
We're digging into new Star Wars, which obviously you have to do at some point, but to just take half of the fan base that are traditionalists and pretty much just say everything that you guys like about Star Wars,
Mhm.
we're stopping with that. We're just doing all this new stuff. It's hard,
Yeah.
So,
So do you define like traditional Star Wars fans as those who enjoy the original like Skywalker series?
I would say episodes 1 to 6.
Okay.
So for
With
those,
Rogue One.
yes.
What about The Mandalorian?
The Mandalorian has some really great content in there, and some really bad content as well.
What about Boba Fett?
Boba Fett was set up to be awesome for traditionalists.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how much you know about where Boba Fett came from. He was, just introduced in episode 5 as some bounty hunter, and just his look was enough to make fans go crazy.
Yeah.
Because they didn't explore anything with him in that movie, he's just a bounty hunter. But then he had an appearance in, I think it was like their Christmas special way back in the 70s and stuff. And so for the traditionalists that saw Boba like grow into this huge character and be brought back into the Mandalorian was awesome, and then Boba Fett kind of fell through.
What about Kenobi?
Kenobi was something that I looked forward to ever since it was announced, and I was so excited for it because Obi-Wan is probably my favorite Star Wars character, and some of it was a letdown, for sure, because it used to be canon that he never really let go of his Jedi ways.
Yeah.
And then in the series that came out, you saw him as a guy that completely ignored it, let this young Jedi that like seeked help from him just die, and just completely like tried to forget everything.
Yeah.
That's not Obi-Wan, dude. That's not. So I love that they gave it a shot. I love seeing Ewan McGregor back as Obi-Wan Kenobi. But what they tried to do, I really appreciated. How it was executed could have been better.
What about the Clone Wars?
Clone Wars is top tier.
Top
man.
tier.
Top tier. Oh, man, it's so good. There's a lot of filler to it, for sure, but it gives some really great background and development to characters that you get emotionally attached to. So I think as what people see as a cartoon, I think it was done like amazing, dude. And Rebels is another series. Have you watched it?
That's the one with the 4 stormtroopers?
No, that's Bad Batch.
Bad Batch.
Yeah, so Rebels is like a Cartoon Network Disney type show.
Yeah.
So it's very cartoony like, and so for the longest time I always like looked at it. I'm like, what is this, man? Like, this is for kids,
Yeah.
Then I watched it. Top tier, man. Top tier. No, it's violent. It's digs into some really important Star Wars content for sure, and has just some of the greatest characters, man. For sure.
All right. What about Lego Star Wars?
Lego Star Wars, I think, is hilarious, and I'm glad it's not canon.
Why?
Dude,
it basically Lego Star Wars. I'm talking about the games.
Okay, no, the games are great. Games are fun.
Okay.
I'm talking about like the Lego Christmas special.
No.
Little episodes they put out where Rey travels through time and fights Darth Vader alongside Luke and stuff. Yeah, it was entertaining, but yeah.
What about? Have you ever played the Force Unleashed games?
Yeah. The games are all pretty sick, honestly. One of my favorites is like Star Wars Battlefront 2 probably, on the GameCube. Like, that one was always really sick. But here's the thing. There's a lot of great Star Wars content, but I think as a fandom, they're one of the most like toxic and divided fandoms out there.
I feel like you almost need to have an elevated knowledge base of Star Wars before you can consider yourself like Star Wars fandom or a fan.
Yeah, a lot of people would see it that way. Me, myself, like, I'm a huge Star Wars person.
Yeah.
And I don't gatekeep Star Wars.
Okay.
If you like Star Wars, boom, you're a fan. That's how I see it. There's something for everyone
Yeah.
in it. And obviously, like, as people can probably tell, like, I'm one of the traditionalists that hates a lot of the new things,
Yeah.
you know, and I can be seen in some people's eyes as the bad part of the fandom, you know,
Yeah.
because like they're trying new things, they're bringing to life new characters, and in my opinion, I don't like that.
Well,
You got so much with what's already there. I want to see different stories explored, like with Harry Potter, but Star Wars is already like so far into it, you know.
let me ask you this. Do you hate the story or did you hate how they did it?
What are we talking?
Star Wars.
Like where
The new stuff, because it's new content, right?
yeah, are we going with like just movie based right now?
Yeah. Talk about the last three.
So Force Awakens, so the first installment of the sequels. I thought it was really fun. You know, I really liked the characters. I thought a stormtrooper turned good that might be force sensitive. Amazing, dude. I was like, that's really unique. That's gonna be awesome to see. Um, this really force sensitive, super powerful girl from just a desert planet.
Yeah.
Like, hey, this worked out with Luke. Luke was dope. Let's do it again.
Yeah.
You know, run it back. Um, Oscar Isaac as Poe. I thought he was sick, dude. Best pilot out there. I was like, man, they are like setting this up to be some great Star Wars. You know,
Kind of like almost an original,
yeah,
because it was like Han,
Han,
Leia, Luke.
Now you got Poe, Finn, and Rey, and it was sick, man. They, you know,
Yeah.
fan service of bringing back Han, bringing back Leia, and I was excited. A lot of people were. And then like you had the grandkid of Vader.
Yeah.
That's sick. But then the eighth one just ruined it all. It really did. You made Luke into a bad guy
Yeah.
that saw the good in Vader, right?
It
The
was his
biggest
dad.
villain ever.
It was his dad.
Yeah, dude, then it's his nephew. A little kid. He's going to murder his nephew because he sees a little bit of dark in him as well. Vader was murdering like planets, dude, populations, mass genocide, and tried to save him.
It was his dad.
Yeah, this is his nephew, man, like a kid. So
Maybe
the thing, man.
maybe behind the scenes, he talked to the ghost of Kenobi, and was like, "Yeah, your dad. He was showing signs in the beginning, but we didn't really pay attention to him, and now he's done everything he's done, and you're the way you are now, and things have turned out the way they have." I don't know. You
Anyway,
don't know.
no,
No.
it's just nah. Dude, they ruined Luke. Absolutely just garbage, man. They ended episode 7, big cliffhanger of Rey handing Luke back his lightsaber.
Yeah.
Beginning of the 8th movie. What does he do?
Throw it.
Throws that shit off a cliff, man.
Yeah.
Then what does he do in the 9th movie when he returns as the Force Ghost? Grabs the lightsaber from the fire and says, "You should treat it with more respect." Flip-flopping, man. Flip-flopping.
Yeah, I could see, because in The Mandalorian, Luke Skywalker is very Jedi way.
Yeah, man, he's so dope in The Mandalorian.
Yeah, he's like very, this is the Jedi way.
Oh, also, dude, Luke was stronger than Vader. Like, if you go into, like, Star Wars Legends, which is, like, the content but not canon,
Yeah.
and then if you go into some canon content as well, he's insanely powerful, right?
Yeah.
He can't stop a little hut from falling on him that Kylo pulls down, you know? You can't stop that?
Maybe he grew old with age.
No, they ruined him. And then Rey, dude, who am I? Oh, you're nobody. That's how that movie ended. You're a nobody.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that kind of sucks, you know?
Yeah.
Poe goes off on this crazy adventure to some casino planet, all for nothing.
Yeah.
You introduce this horrible character that tags along with him who offered absolutely nothing that the fan base hated so much that you gave like 40 seconds of screen time to in the ninth movie. Poe starts out the movie with a prank phone call
Yeah.
to the First Order. He pranks them.
Yeah.
Oh, can't hear you. Oh, you're breaking up. Horrible movie. 7, really good. 8, absolute shit. 9, they did the best they could. And I respect it. They tried their best to mend it. And I enjoyed it. You know, there's obviously still some bad parts.
Yeah.
The big joke of John Bodega's Finn character just screaming Rey the whole time, trying to chase her.
Yeah.
She's somehow Palpatine returned. Horrible writing. But they did the best that they could.
Yeah.
You know? And I respect them for that.
Did you enjoy the little Romeo and Juliet scene with Rey and Kylo?
Man, dude, they could have saved him. There's no reason to kill him right there.
I thought that
But
was funny.
yeah, it was definitely a weird build-up. It felt forced, you know? But
well, when you're trying to salvage something that's
you have to force a lot. Yeah.
You have to force.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I thought that whole Palpatine scene and then all the ships, and I was like, what is going? I remember watching that movie and going like half of the time like, what is happening? Why?
Yeah.
What is going on, dude?
oh, dude, there's this fan edit though that would have made the movie like 10 times better, where when Rey's final stand against Palpatine and she hears all the Jedi's voices, man.
Yeah.
There's a fan edit of all their like ghosts coming behind her.
Yeah.
And like using the Force against Palpatine as well, and that would have been sick. The voices were cool, obviously, but all right. So you think Harry Potter is pretty divided? I think they're pretty unified due to content. Star Wars, I see as just one of like the most divided fan bases of all.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna say the same about Marvel. Marvel, it's the same thing with Star Wars. There's so much content to it.
Yeah.
That you have the traditionalists, the comic book readers. Then you have the people that just watch the movies.
Yeah.
And then
the casuals.
Yeah. And then everyone was very united up until after Endgame. Is how I kind of see it. Just because I feel like Marvel branched out into too many projects that they weren't developed well enough. You got some really great TV shows. You got some really horrible TV shows. Got some good movies. You got really horrible movies.
Yeah.
And that's in my opinion.
One of the biggest things I think like night and day difference was the CGI between Guardians of the Galaxy 3.
Mm-hmm.
Take that CGI and the CGI from Black Widow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, the Black Widow CGI was atrocious.
Yeah.
Dude,
no, dude, just take it like
we could have gotten a green screen and done better.
Yeah. I mean, Black Widow, was what, 2020 is when it came out?
Yeah.
But it was filmed like 2019. Here's the thing, Guardians of the Galaxy came out this year. So compare it to something even closer. Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. Their CGI was pretty atrocious, man. Like,
was it?
Ironheart, I believe is her character. Her, like, big red suit.
Yeah.
Looked like something out of Power Rangers, man. And then, like, the
is
special
that
suits.
CGI, though, or is that character design?
No, the CGI was bad, man. I think it was just bad.
And bad character design.
Yeah, they made her look like a slimmed down Baymax. They really did her dirty.
A non-puffy Baymax.
Yeah, Baymax hit the gym. And then just like the suits that they made for the Warriors, you know, they looked bad too. So I don't know, man, like they just need more unity when it comes to movies instead of branching, like spreading so thin, you know.
Well, on top of that, I feel like Black Panther, like I get it, stuff happened, you know.
Yeah.
That they couldn't go the direction they wanted to because of Chadwick Boseman, you know.
You mean Oh yeah, Black Panther.
Yeah.
I thought you said Black Widow.
No.
No,
Maybe
yeah.
I did.
With the passing of Chadwick, they really did a great story, I think. Um, for like
I just
for their situation.
Yeah, but I just feel like they could have. I honestly, that whole, like, oh, I could have killed you, but I didn't. So now we're united. I was like,
So effing predictable.
this is so stupid. And then they go and do their little chant thing, and I'm like, this is so cringe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, it was cringe. As a member of the Hispanic community, Namor being Aztec, I believe he was.
Yeah,
Aztec or
something Mayan,
Mayan.
yeah.
I just felt like, first of all, I'm glad they didn't like roid him out. I'm glad he had like a bit of a belly.
Yeah.
It was
No,
awesome.
his physique was more natural and
Yeah.
Yep.
But more than anything, I enjoyed the scene where they were playing like the ancient version of soccer.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I remember reading about that and stuff, and I enjoyed it. I just felt like, I get it, they were fighting, the hero couldn't lose. Namor had a point though, he was protecting his people. I just think that writers need to be okay with things not always working out for the hero.
Yeah.
I think, for example, in Rogue One, it was, we all knew what the ending was.
Yeah.
But the way it went about, all the deaths, I think makes movies great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it may leave a bitter taste in your mouth because you're like, I got attached.
Yeah.
Now they're dead. That sucks. But you feel that, I just think writers need to just let go of the predictableness. Kill them off.
Yeah.
Do it, And if you don't get approved for a next movie, guess what? You don't have to worry about how you're gonna make it work now.
Yeah. That's what Jack Snyder wanted to do with DC. I believe he wanted to kill off Superman. The owner of DC or whoever, some higher up, was like, "It's yours. Do what you want with it." He's like, "Really?" They're like, "Yeah, full range." He's like, "I'm gonna kill Superman then."
Yeah.
I don't think he obviously didn't.
Yeah.
I think he hinted at it. I never watched the movies or something.
Yeah.
But
4 hours for a movie is a really long time.
I can't get to it, man. But
that's like watching Avatar twice.
Yeah. But it's just I don't know. Marvel lately has had a lot of very predictable and cheesy and cringy content where I think they saw how well, for instance, Thor Ragnarok did.
Yeah.
Hilarious movie, right? And then Marvel looked at that and they said, this movie did so well because it was funny. No, it did well because of the development,
It did well because it was well written.
the action, but they just saw it as a comedy, and I feel like they've just tried that with everything else.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I haven't even watched the past 3 TV shows. I haven't even seen Ant-Man yet. I'm just waiting until stuff comes out for free,
I'm a Marvel fan in a Disney Plus kind of way, unless it's Spider-Man.
Yeah.
For me, I'll wait till it's on Disney Plus. I'll support you when it goes on there. But if you've got Spider-Man work, I'll go watch it in theaters. Yeah. I'm all for Spider-Man. I'll support it.
And luckily, they've done Spider-Man very well.
They've done him well. Can't complain. They haven't massacred my boy quite yet.
Yeah, but Marvel's definitely very divided, especially on social media,
Oh, yeah.
And it's like what we're saying, man. It's the rushed and bad writing. Even Secret Invasion that is out right now.
It's out?
Yeah. Dude, I was about to say, I haven't heard a single thing except my wife told me that apparently it's getting really bad reviews.
Oh,
and
they had such great potential.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's Nick Fury. Come on, man. That's everyone wants to see that, but apparently they're screwing it over again, man.
Well, it's just one of those things. It's like we'll have to wait for the fans to make their own version, and it'll be 10 times better, and
Yeah.
we'll just watch those on YouTube.
It is what it is, man. We can't fix it. We get what we get with, these big franchises and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why you just, like, gotta find what you do like in it. Because there is still good content being produced with Star Wars and Marvel and hopefully Harry Potter very soon. But, I don't know, man.
I guess that the backside to my comment about more content, I guess Marvel is a prime example of where more content wasn't a great move.
Yeah.
Because, you've got tons of content. And I think the last thing I really watched was No Way Home. That's it, really. I haven't had... And then I tried to watch Ant-Man, Quantumania, and it's on Disney+. I tried to watch it. I couldn't get into it.
Have you gotten to the TV shows, though?
I watched Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Might have been the last one I watched. Yeah, I was really sad that they didn't go like full dark with what's his name? With Agent
Carter?
Not Agent Carter. It's the guy who has Captain America's shield.
Oh, yeah.
Agent USA, maybe, I think his name is.
U.S. Agent?
Maybe.
Says hero name or something?
Yeah. So that's like I just when he beat that guy, the blood on the shield, I was like, yes. Get into it. Get into the nitty-gritty. Make it dark.
Yeah.
Nah.
Dude, that poor actor though, man.
What?
Got death threats for his role.
Because he did a damn good job.
Yeah. Oh, dude, that's something we haven't even explored yet with fandoms, man. The death notes that people get.
I don't want to get into it.
Absolutely ridiculous, man. It is like you are mentally sick if you send these actors who are just taking a role, trying to do the best with what they're written and stuff, and like threatening them for their characters. Like the poor new girl in Kenobi, the Inquisitor. The poor girl in, episode 8 in Star Wars as well. I forget her character name. It's like Lynn or something.
How do people even find, what's the process behind a death threat?
Oh,
you write down...
It's like DMs too.
Yeah, I guess.
And then just like, even just like straight up on Twitter and things
We don't live in the...
The serial killer, like, pasting letters and stuff. No, I'm sure people still do that, man.
Probably.
I'm sure they do, and I'm sure things are sent to, the studios and everything. But man,
you gotta think though.
rough.
Those actors probably have someone who manages their social media and gets those death threats and just deletes them.
But no, they see them.
Really?
Yeah, like the poor girl in Star Wars. Like, I apologize, I don't remember her character name or the actress, but like, she broke down on the red carpet because there's a little girl dressed as her character, and. She always, like, people would, like, yell at her at those events.
Yeah.
People were, atting her and just, like, really harsh things, man. And she finally found someone that liked her character for a second, just, like, broke down. And, no, it's everyone, man.
That's so...
Those people should not be considered fans, in my opinion.
Just antagonists.
Yeah. Some people just want to see the world burn.
Yeah, one DM at a time, I guess.
Yeah. But if you're gonna be a fan of something, dude, be respectful of it. Like, I, with Star Wars, would never bash, like, the actual person.
Yeah.
I would only bash, in reality, the directors, the writers, the freaking Kathleen Kennedy, who's like in charge of Star Wars and Lucasfilms. Like, it's their fault, dude. It's never who you see on screen.
Yeah, that's what I've never understood. Like, I don't get it.
No,
I don't get it.
I don't get it, man. People are crazy. I hope if you're listening, you're not one of those people that would ever write something like that. If you are, get out of here.
I hope our fandom
I
is
don't want your
toxic.
views.
I hope they're always bickering with each other.
I hope they're toxic towards us. I hope they roast us one day.
I just, as long as you guys fight amongst us, I guess, we'll never look at your DMs. We promise. Fight all you want.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sticking with us if you're still listening. Let us know what you're a fan of. If you're a fan of Harry Potter, are you New Age or are you traditional? Star Wars, are you New Age? Are you traditional? Like, where have you found your home in which series? I'm very curious. You know.
Community. Stop.
Because long